Good morning. We are going into the Carthul marshes. I don't know. Stuff's happening. God. That's a bad start. Wow. Yeah. Jesus. All right. Clearly, I need to learn how to drink. Okay, we're good. No sugar involved. Well. Oh, straight into it. All right. I haven't warmed up. We'll see what happens.
Both to proceed.
One of these is it. Oh, the door's saving it, I guess. Okay. Oh, interesting. Play with the geometry a little bit. Yeah, good. I want to try an Amazon, I think, next. It's not going to be very flashy, but I want to try out like tornado shot. I'm gonna finish off the pinnacle bosses on my totem user though first. Did you buy anything to make your hollow palm monk, silly? Or are you just doing whatever? Because I found that weapons scale better. Yeah. Because that's why you're not peaking today. Other than it beats racism. Okay. Hour or two, sweet. Still hiding. Makes sense. No head for you. What was I doing with Hollow Palm? Ice Strike or whatever. And then I had the Pulsel Helm, whatever ring. So basically chilled enemies were counted as frozen. So then Herald of Ice would just slam. Stuck on a rock. I mean, it probably does, but I don't know. For me, just having like a 150% fizz damage staff with the kind of equivalent physical damage, my armor couldn't keep up. Like to scale hollow palm accordingly. Why exactly was I annoyed by that? Right, because I wanted to do this. There's 5? What the? All right. It's on the 1. Three more to go. Yeah, I had enormous crit, and typically speaking, you want to keep your crit versus crit damage at like a 10-to-1. So there's a bit of a game to play there. But it wasn't enough. Oh boy, I made a mistake. End of Chayula? Yeah, use that over marking stuff. Yeah, just mark of whatever. Totally valid. I don't know. Just switching to a weapon worked a lot better at the time. I don't know if long-term hollow palm stuff scales better or not, but at the time, based on the gear I had, it just wasn't a thing. Yeah, Herald of Ice is just silly in general. And then the fact that you can kind of like teleport with all the monk fist stuff is really good quality of life. Sick.
Relic acquired. One remaining.
The time of ascension.
Yeah, they don't need movement speed. You just click and you teleport.
Be shackled to a dying cosmos.
I think my only complaint with Path of Exile these days is that if you've thought of it, somebody else has too. So there's almost always a build out there for it. And just, I don't know. Don't have to pay any attention to that stuff, I guess, in the end. But it's still the best ARPG out there. I don't think anything's even gotten close. Why is this considered a secret? Ah, what the hell? Is there a way to... a little bit while I'm in here? Oh, there is. That's so floaty. All right, we gotta... Can't I just like touch it? That was awkward. What was I shooting for again here? Okay, so I guess I've got to stand on that. Shit, I shouldn't have to. Stick. I just back out of here rather than take the portal. What are you doing on your Amazon? Or have you kind of like ditched her for the moment? I still haven't done my 3rd and 4th ascendancies on my totem user, and I'm like level 88. It should be pretty easy to fix, honestly. Ascendancies just aren't fun. That's all there is to it. Any arrow? Maybe I should join the lightning arrow gang, see what it's all about. Yeah. So dangly. Alright, gotta go through the other side. That's kinda lame. Reaper. I need a lot more money. More money. Jump from there, maybe? All these dorky little puzzle places. Like a snail shell. This is one of those infinite nonsense things, right? Like they're just looping me on myself. Yeah, okay. More BFG ammo is always appreciated. It helps to deal with a lot of nonsense encounters. Looking for a few more wolf statues. What am I missing? Why is this dude not spawning, whatever it is? Just literally opens. That's that. The witch. Like a main character. Wait, was that door not supposed to open? Was I supposed to blast it from here and then it was supposed to open up the door? Okay. So that means there might be something similar for this one. Yeah, whatever. See what we can get into. Rip and tear. Wait, that wasn't the leader, was it? Oh, I wasted it. Wait, Burger Max. It is stating my bloodlust for sure. Oh, it's just one of these dudes. Give me a heart. How's the weekend going? Good to hear. Could all use a little bit more of that these days. Bust my way through there. Old school RuneScape is devouring your life. Seems to be popular. I don't understand the allure, but you know, whatever. Giving strokes and all that.
Both relics acquired. Proceed to the central lift.
One form of crack for another. I spend way too much time in my life on WoW. Well, whatever you got a mainline, man. Wait, why does it claim I got all the resources when I haven't? I think I can hit that from here, yeah. Yeah, I get the itch to play an MMO pretty much all the time, but I haven't found anything that's ever stuck enough on me. Like, the problem with WoW right now is the amount of like time investment you need to make and the gatekeeping associated with it. Like, it's a suffering under the weight of its own crappy community. And then all these other things like Throne and Liberty or whatever, their gameplay isn't great, and because they are fundamentally like an Asian free-to-play MMO, they suffer from that same microtransaction friction that ends up making the game just uninteresting. I miss Terra. I think I'd be playing Lost Ark if they hadn't made the boss encounter so generally toxic. Yeah, it's the same issue. So, Lost Ark's development started off really solid. Like, aside from collecting Makoko seeds, the game was fun to play, all that other stuff. And I mean, the equipment enhancement stuff was degenerate, but fine, I could, you know, deal with it just because playing the game itself was fun. But then they got to the point where basically players were getting so good because it was a skill-based game and so strong because of top-end gear that they could solo bosses. So the developers like, well, we don't want people soloing bosses. Like, we don't want people paying for carries, which I thought was kind of weird. Like, who cares? But anyway, their solution was to make it so that there would be mechanics in the boss encounters that would require multiple players to coordinate. And if they didn't coordinate properly, it would kill everybody. So when I was playing against, I forget the name of her, but she's some stupid succubus. And basically what ends up happening is it's a pattern that plays. And you have to pay attention to it. So it's like black, black, white, black, or whatever. And you need to coordinate with everybody else based on that pattern to determine who goes in front of things. And inevitably somebody would screw up, right? Which kills everybody. So as a consequence, the community went hyper toxic and was like, okay, if you don't have the achievement from killing that boss, which shows up as a title over your head, then you can't get into any public groups. Which is fine. Like, the whole argument is like, make your own group if you're getting gatekeeped out, right? But the problem is finding X number of individuals that is willing to sit there and learn is also equally annoying, right? Yeah, so it's just that whole rush towards time savings as a consequence of the challenge of coordinating 10 to 20 people to participate in this thing, and then people not wanting to spend 3 hours leads to this sort of anti-community behavior. And the other problem is when you do these bosses, you don't get upgrades out of it. Like, you get materials that could upgrade you, but because of the nature of the system that they created, there's no way to know if you're advancing or not. So one of the main problems I had is I'd spend a week, you know, doing the daily stuff and grinding up and killing all the bosses and blah blah blah, and then I'd go and dump all this material into my weapon or my armor or whatever, expecting an upgrade, and I wouldn't get anything. It's just like, it sucked the entertainment value out of the game. I think this repulse thing is going to be a big deal. The thing I liked about Terra was the dungeons were just these 5-man group things. And if you didn't want to do hard mode, you didn't have to. I did it anyway. But the more people you involve, the harder it is to coordinate. And Terra's gameplay is unmatched. There's literally no MMOs out there with gameplay that gets anywhere close. The big problems with Terra basically boiled down to it being a giant weeb game with lollies everywhere and the stupidest cosmetics ever created. And then later on in its lifespan, they went the whole luck enhancement route. So that was basically the beginning of the end for me. However, it also was the beginning of the end for other players. So inevitably, the game shut down. I'm pretty sure there's still private servers out there, but I got enough other games to play. We'll resort to that kind of thing. Yeah, Terra's gameplay was fantastic. And then Elion was supposed to be the spiritual successor to it, but they basically took everything that was good in Terra and removed it, and took everything in Terra that was bad and dialed it up to 11. So if you'll note, Elion doesn't exist anymore. Doom is all about tentacle porn. It always has been. We're just more upfront about it here. So one of Terra's main complaints was that it was very reflex-based, very agile, or agility requirement, sort of gated game. And as a consequence, it wasn't accessible. So Elion was like, okay, we'll make it accessible, but it just sucked all the joy out of the game. You basically queue up moves and they felt super sluggish. Now, Terra had another flaw where your damage output was basically tied to your latency as a consequence of the way the combat system works, which was also not great. But basically it was because the client wasn't predictive. So basically it waited for the response from the server before it let you move into the next sequence of moves. So late in Terra's lifespan, somebody decided to create this reverse proxy thing that sat in between the client and the server. And what it would do is it would respond instantly to the client and say, hey, you did your thing. So at that point, everybody was playing as if they had zero latency. The problem that came out of that is that people soon learned that there were weaknesses in Terra's protocol that allowed them to cheat. So you got a whole bunch of weird crap going on. There's a lot of cool quality of life features that came out of that. Like you could turn off the skill effects of other players, which was really good for FPS purposes and visibility. You could, you know, alert when certain enemies were around, that kind of stuff, so that you could farm a little more effectively. So there was definitely a line. Yeah, this ripoff thing is actually super cool. Best ability NA. He's hitting me from behind. He didn't even buy me dinner. Hitting it from the back. Yeah, I'll burn one. Why not? No, they didn't even let me know. Like, just disgusting. No manners. That's really the reason I grow up my hair. Makes it easier to grab. At one point, I thought that Aerith's hairstyle was impossible, and then I started to grow out my bangs in a similar way, and it happened. Like, oh, okay. Now, Cloud's hairstyle on the other side, not possible without like an entire tub of gel. New World was doomed. Did you play during the alpha? So New World was doomed because the dungeon content was never going to work. It was the Guild Wars problem where there was no tanks and stuff, so fights were chaotic. But alpha New World was like Dark Souls online. It was super cool. But MMO players are retarded, myself included, because I played them, right? And they didn't understand how Dark Souls games were supposed to work. Like the whole give and take of that chess game that you play with your moves. So what was happening was in PvP is that people didn't understand how to punish, like block and then use your timing windows to deal with stuff. So people would use the axe and they just swing. And much like players who don't understand fighting games, they try to swing back, but because the axe was so much faster, they get staggered. So they felt like the axe was impossible to beat. But people are like, no, just block and kick the crap out of them. Now, to be fair to players, the developers did a really bad job of designing the creatures around this idea. Like one of the main tenets of Dark Souls games is that the enemies have a telegraph, right? And the enemies in New World did not. So there was a mismatch between the encounters and the combat system. So what the developers ended up doing was they dumbed down the combat, right? They made it the typical tab targeting, whatever stuff. You still get a little bit of that Dark Souls flavor in the spear and like the bow to some degree. But mostly the spear, but the rest of it just got annihilated. So the combat became hyper generic. And then because the Like the dungeon encounters and stuff like that couldn't support the entertainment value. The game was just doomed to failure. And any game that is built around the notion of player PvP for the sake of accumulating PvE power, it's always going to die. There isn't a single game out there that has successfully done that. Except for Eve, I think, but Eve's a different animal. Eve is an anomaly. And this Cthulhu stuff here. 99%. Whatever. 17 to 22. Man, we are slapping through this. Ashes of Creation feels very DOA. But I think if they can capture that World of Warcraft nostalgia for classic, then sure. But from what I've seen, I don't care. As soon as a place harps on the idea of like player housing, I think they're doomed to failure. Player housing, honestly, is literally the worst thing in my opinion. It's the same thing as Arcade, where people are fighting over plots. The point of an MMO is to go out and explore and murder things. Anything that encourages the opposite, I think, works against the system. People like to play SimCity, right? Like these cozy sort of decorate my house things are totally legitimate. Yeah, I think they're counter to what an MMO should try to be, but that's just me. I'm not the only player in the universe, and I'm not even playing MMOs right now, so hey. Sure, but the thing is, as an MMO developer, especially if you're subscription based, you're like, what can stop a player from unsubbing, right? And there's a sunk cost that comes with building your ideal dream home or whatever in WoW or whatever game it is. Like a lot of people in Final Fantasy 14, they spend literal days just playing VR chat inside of Final Fantasy, and that is an income, and it's pretty low effort to make these uninteractable, like non-dynamic set pieces for people to place in their house. The development cost of that is pretty cheap once you have the baseline system in place. So I get it from a financial standpoint, but I don't get it from a game health perspective. Like I played Final Fantasy 14 for a little bit, but I could not understand the appeal of it. It was so slow. Now, Final Fantasy 14's community is amazing, like actually amazing. And I think a lot of that boils down to, one, the developers crack down on toxic behavior pretty hard. Two, there's no like serious penalties for failing a raid. So there isn't that gatekeeping. And I think the last thing is also that you don't need mods to play the game, and in fact they're actively discouraged, which I actually think goes a long way to maintaining the accessibility of any MMO, or at least the like limiting the initial cognitive burden. Because one of the things you have to do in WoW is like have this hyper complicated setup and play, because there's been such an arms race between mod developers and the developers for boss encounters that if you don't have these mods anymore, you're pretty much screwed. Now, there are people that will say otherwise, and it's true to some degree that you can get away with it, but you're at such a huge disadvantage if you don't have something like deadly boss mods. It's like technically you can do it. I think if I was playing Throne and Liberty with a friend, it'd be fine. Like, it's just a generic dungeon crawler at that point. But I kind of have to ask myself, why am I not just playing Path of Exile at that point? I don't even remember the tutorial. That's how inconsequential it was. I'm pretty dead here. On to another round of dudes. Annoying. Yeah, Path of Exile is super good. It has balance issues. You know, some of the classes are really underwhelming, but it does so much. Yeah, it'll probably be free by Christmas, but honestly, I don't regret buying into it at all. I don't even remember how much I paid for it. Like, that's how little I care. Like the frequency with which they release new leagues and stuff, it's just, there's so much to be done. It's kind of cool. I hate water levels. This is stupid. Yeah, there's a sunk cost for a bunch of tabs for some quality of life, but you don't need all of them, and they go on sale fairly frequently. So it's like 20 or 30 bucks and you're ready to rock. Wait. It's weird the water exists, like in reality. Well, there's just tentacles everywhere here. Man, this mace thing is overpowered. It's slow, but it hits like a truck. Which I guess is the reason why it exists. But anyway. I wish it would tell me that there was a riposte available. Maybe it does and I'm just blind. The Bull Earth? What? Why not Hot Dog Earth? Really wanted to watch Spawn as a kid and I never did, and then when I did watch it as an adult I was so disappointed. Such a trash movie, man. The majority of the movies my mom wouldn't let me watch when I was young was they were just not worth watching. I unironically like the Mortal Kombat movie though. But I think it's got more of that Army of Darkness flavor to it. Not that it's good, but it's so bad it's good. The very first one. Mortal Kano was also a decent movie. It was entertaining. I'll never watch it again, but I mean for what it was. Okay, I see where the indicator is. Let's be real. The most recent Mortal Kombat movie with the Scorpion Sub-Zero thing was just Mortal Kano. It was Kano the movie. Yeah, the OG one is what I'm talking about. The animes for the Mortal Kombat series are actually not trash either. I don't know if I'm supposed to call it an anime because it was American made, but whatever. It was reasonable. Interestingly enough, the Starship Troopers animated series are also better than the movies. Although there was the Tower one that had that super hot blonde chick in it. Basically the only redeeming factor in the sequels. Animes, cartoons? I mean, they are Japanese cartoons, yeah. But some weeb is probably going to try to kill you with a katana at that point. You got all 4 of your ascendancies? You killed the Time Lord guy? I don't actually understand commercial content white knighting. Like, one, who cares what other people's opinion is? Two, this is literally a for-profit enterprise. They don't care about you beyond your dollars. I mean, the people who created it probably have a certain degree of passion for it and want it to be liked. But I don't know. All this stuff going on here. What the actual F? You gotta carry for like 30x, yeah. It wasn't a one shot, but I'm playing a nightmare, so you take a lot of damage, and I think I was at like 80 hit points. There's just a lot going on. Sometimes I feel like a lot of the encounters in this game are just luck because there's so much stuff going on from every direction, you can't possibly manage it. That was annoying. Hell Knight coming out from behind me. And it's not like there's particularly good audio cues either. There's just so much crap going on. Rip. Oh my god, there's a pinky up here. Wait, did it just eat my life sigil forever? What's going on here? Hello, Nagogo. Maximum spike ammo, hell yeah. Crayons. The other awkward thing about this game is that when you're in these encounters, the big guys keep respawning. You can't just like pick off the little guys and then have a one-on-one with the big guy. You gotta just accept your fate. There is no chill. Uh-oh, look who's lurking. Gotta go get food. Probably a good plan. What the hell? Wait, what's this about? What's the... What have I done and why? Oh. Oh, I see. Is it really that important though? I feel like I've got enough stores on me to hibernate for a year if I really wanted to. No comment. Hmm. What's that all about? It's more like a teleporter thing. What's even the point of streaming if I don't read chat and then respond to chat? It's all part of the social contract, right? Alright, what the actual F? There's all these things, so I imagine they can be powered up somehow. You wish taxing. You wish. All right, maybe I don't care. It's just gold. Literacy is on decline in the US. It makes sense. We're seeing it. We're seeing it happen live right here. No, you don't need to be nice to taxing. He's a bully. Wait, did you just teleport me to some alternate reality of the same thing? It's true. That movie was prophetic. Bruh. I think I'm playing Beat Saber here. Sweet. The flow of combat in this game is really solid. I don't think there's an arcade shooter that does Doom as well as Doom does. Yeah, audio is too much of a mess to get any sort of information out of it. For sure. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, there's like a reverse waterfall going on. Water rise.
Gravitic anomalies detected.
Cool. Huh. Well, that sucked. Demonic Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't actually understand the whole ship motif, but I think you're supposed to not think about these games too hard. Just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the theme. I don't know, it's like movies. Like when Batman made a whole bunch of money after being rebooted into some weird, you know, realistic, gritty thing or whatever. And then every other movie tried to do that. Exactly. Poor Daisy. I think it was last stream that I realized that John Wick was actually just Doom. Like, it's literally the exact same story. It's just cloned. Am I mentally handicapped? I might be. No, they're literal ripoffs of each other. Except for the fact that John Wick started life as an assassin and Doom guy was some military grunt. Doom guy's rabbit was called Daisy. John Wick's rabbit is called, or dog is named Daisy. They're both just rage-filled killing machines. Like the one time I might use the rocket launcher. Oops. Yeah, I don't spend enough time on my gear when I'm in the campaign. Like I really should be using the desecration stuff and whatever, but it's usually not necessary. Something's going on here. Sure. The revives are not that prolific, which is the issue. I find they mostly just help with pacing.
Commander Thera's life signal locked on. She is inside the temple.
Monk was a worst leveling experience. Is it because it's a melee class? Oh, hi. Melee is actually awful. I'm a very average gamer. Or at least that's what my aim training data shows. Yep. Most melee range skills are stronger than the ranged equivalent, like just baseline. So they scale better to some degree. But the problem is, at least in Path of Exile 2, is that any skill can be viable with enough gear thrown at it. So eventually the game becomes less about can I kill the thing, and it becomes more about how fast can I kill the thing. And that's where melee kind of falls apart. want that thing. Give me it. The hell? Like straight out of The Last of Us or whatever. It's too damn dark. Being teleported around, I guess. I'm gonna get teleported right before that thing, am I not? A lot of Hell Knights. Maybe. It's mostly smashing with my mace. You do kick them sometimes. What was that game which had a lot of kicking in it? Oh yeah, Bulletstorm.
Prepare the sacrifice. The beast approaches.
The beast. I really like the mace. It's a little slow and you're not immune during the animation. But all in all, definitely sweet. Is there one of those purple onk things somewhere? I'm just slow in the head, so it works well for me. Completed a challenge. Exactly. That's the whole point. You gotta ensure that your IQ drops just a little bit every single day. And then eventually you will achieve true enlightenment. One with nothing. How do I open that door? Crack it open, yo. Well, that's the thing. When you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. You're in the best place possible. You can only go up. How am I supposed to open this? There's only so many possible angles. Whatever. I'm out.
Alert. Unknown entity approaching.
Sick. Cthulhu has arrived. Snack time. Literally the belly of the beast. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Oh, we're getting some underboob. Do you want ice cream? Damn it. Ice cream? You want ice cream? Ugh. Love me! Love me! Ah, violence! Oh, here, BB. I'm coming for you, BB!
Is cleared for landing.
I basically got the hair. I just need to get those curler things and then wrap it up. Okay. And then you leave it there for a little bit. And then that gives you the gravity defying bangs for a bit. Let's see. Let's see if I can do it. Not quite. I need some hairspray. That actually achieved literally nothing. You basically are a J guy. Somebody in the pooper. Mess him up. You just want the sushi. Ugh.
Yeah, he's just like, and then, it reminds me, join you on your journey to become a wizard. You guys remember that internet meme? It's like this nuts. Ninjas slowly ramp up the velocity. Get that cardio going. And then, like 7 seconds later, you're done. Whew. Got my heart rate up there.
Nice. Let's huff some paint. Ah, yeah, that's the stuff. Another hit. Ah.
Yo. Let me get a hug up in here.
That was the most emo thing you've ever written, Taxi. I like to walk among the stars, but the sky keeps existing. Our dream sits in the darkness, just out of reach. Thank you, Borgup. I gotta work on my my whiny emo singing voice.
Vital signs stable.
That's a weird kink, Nikoko. I'll become a star so you can walk all over me. Mmm. Oh boy. I don't know how else to interpret it. The Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Major organ located.
Major organ! So why does Cthulhu have demons inside of it? That was... He just ate a bunch of demons, and it turns out he doesn't have a stomach, he just has a thing. Is this like the sphincter? Oh, you can run through it. Hilarious. Oh, wait. No. Oh, that was the other way. Okay, whatever.
Major organ located.
I feel like the anatomy of this creature is something that doesn't make any sense. And I don't mean not make sense in some eldritch way. I mean, not make sense in that it's stupid. Ugh. Ah, the slow mace screwed me there.
Major organ located.
Ah, yeah. Boom, headshot. What's going on here? Gotta run! Oh, fine. Have I got something for you, buddy? Oh, wrong guy. Have a safe trip, taxing. Hello, Wabu? Autumn equinox, gross. The Chinese store near me is selling moon pies because that's the Chinese equivalent of the autumn equinox stuff. And there's boxes of moon pies. They're like $70. And all it is just like an egg with lotus paste or something around it. Why is it so expensive? I don't know, maybe there's some cultural element to it I'm not familiar with. Open the sphincter. Yeah, giving you indigestion. Is there anything worth getting? Not sure how I feel about rapid fire. I'm almost feeling like plague is better. Ravage is okay. Let's switch to plague. I thought the auto gun health would be more significant, but it's actually a waste of my life. I don't think I really understand the point of this, but sure. Even the boot. I guess the goal is to get access to that ruby? Maybe? Wow, what the hell, man? What's the point? Is it just easier? Did I blow something up there that would have helped me? Like, I don't think so. Whatever. Belly of the beast. Oh my god, learn to aim. Go to the other side, see if I can get that life thing. How do I launch myself into that? Do 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 do. Maybe that's actually the out hole. Do I go up there and just jump across or something? Alright, let's just activate this thing, see what happens. I don't think anything actually really changed here. So kind of just the same crap. Always easier than I think it's going to be. Pretty much always. Whatever. Whatever. I don't think I have any money. At least not for anything I care about. killed most of the stuff. Who's left? Mancubus. Some other stuff. I didn't realize there was one more left. Nope. Place is super annoying. Another phase. Sure. You're right, I need more rage, Wabu. All that for some crappy super thing. It's not great for sure. Well, even I had to use one. I guess I didn't have to, but seemed like the right thing to do. Okay. Don't want me to go through that hole. They want me to find another one. I'm assuming this will open up. I don't know. It's at the end point. Do I actually have to go through the sphincter thing just after I do something, maybe? Punch it in its organ. Maybe I'm trying to force something that isn't a thing. What am I missing there? Hello, Omar. It's pretty cool. There are definitely things that annoy me about this game. The secrets, for example, being tied to upgrades, and the challenges forcing you to play in a certain way until they're done is kind of annoying. But otherwise, pretty awesome. How's your weekend going? I have no idea how to get through this thing. What am I missing? Oh, no. Yeah, low IQ. The smoothest of brains. It's never that hard. I've never played Halo. Well, Halo 2 and 3. I played Halo 1 with somebody once. Indigestion. I should play Halo 2. I know you have a giant hard-on for Halo, but I just don't share that sentiment. You'd vote for it? Yeah. I don't even think I have the Halo series anymore. The only reason I even played it once was because it was on the Master Chief Collection, and that's part of... This is the wrong weapon. And that was when I had Game Pass, but I don't have Game Pass anymore, so... It's not even an option. Wait. There we go. Good. Poor Wabu. His whole childhood being pooped on. Oh no, why is he doing that?
Doom Eternal versus Doom Dark Ages.
Doom Eternal. So there's two main differences between these two games. First one, Doom Eternal, you don't have constantly spawning mobs. So one of the main things in Doom Dark Ages that's super annoying is if you're targeting one specific enemy to end the wave, all the other big guys and little guys keep spawning forever. But in Eternal, you could just like take out the small guys and then sort of work your way up the chain to make facing the big guy easier because you wouldn't have to pay attention to all this crap that's going on. So Doom Dark Age is a lot busier. I don't think the pacing's that much difference between the two. The parry mechanic, I actually like. I like the fact that it changes the ebb and flow of the fight. It was kind of like taking down Marauders with the ballista shotgun quick swap. But it's baked into the game as opposed to just being something that probably wasn't intended by the devs. I wish weapon swapping was faster in this game though. Like there's no incentive to swap between weapons really. Just pick one that you like and then carry on with your life. Which I think is for like the amount of time it takes me to swap just to hit those electric shield guys. It's craziness. I think pacing wise they're about the same in the end. The differences are more down to mechanical problems and the way the encounters are designed. Good weekends. Everybody needs more of those. I like Dark Ages better than Eternal in general. That's it. Yeah. There's a weight behind this shield that's really solid. Damn it. Slopes are the worst. I don't know why I did that, but okay. I don't think the platforming was that interesting. I think it was fine. Cutting it out doesn't make the game any worse. Oh, I never realized this guy was like right there. I don't play first-person shooters that frequently. Oh, like that proprioception issue?
Caution. Your signal is surrounded by enemy targets.
Yeah, that can definitely be a thing. I like how in this game, if you just fall off the edge, it just teleports you up. It's like it never happened. Somebody needs to clean up. Uh-oh. Big boss battle. Smelling like it. That was not what I wanted to do. What did I get hit by? I should get some cereal. Yeah, got some new stream text I can get out of the way when cutscenes happen. Which really isn't anything crazy as it is, but... Oh, my slow mace! That was on me. I did not pay any attention to what he was doing. Oh, wrong way. Ain't got no head. Okay, well. This is salvageable. Oh my gosh. The Revenants are very cool. punished here pretty hard. Should probably eat soon too. Let's get out of there. And then you're ready. Is Nikoko ready? Tentacle porn everywhere.
Her energy is too powerful. Even for you. The Sentinels know so little about themselves. She has the spirit of an ancient Sentinel god within her. A wraith who are descendants of this realm. Here, her energy becomes fully realized. And it can be harnessed. We should kill him. We'll need something more permanent.
Is this the lead into the tomb?
Gos, Zarath, Maziker.
Yeah, I don't know what the gimmick is with Doom Guy. He's immortal, right? If Nakogo's ready for peak, I think we'll pause it here. We'll switch over. I miss that ruby. "19 of 22. We are slamming through this. I was concerned we weren't going to get it done for October, but it looks like we're well on our way.
The Creed came back.
You peeking, Nikoko?
And the Slayer. Nothing.
Get him on.
Bishop Creed, Where is Thera?
The Slinger came, and there was a struggle. We should leave. Now.
Dude needs a pedicure.
Everyone out, now.
I think we have different ideas of what hot is, Nikoko, but I can appreciate the differing perspective. Just don't look at the face. Interesting. Dude is so focused.
They are rage, brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear, until it is done.
What's up, Daddy? Are we full-blown barbecued at this point? Even the icon at the bottom is mangled. Dude's in zombie mode. Yeah, it's nice. All right, friends, we're gonna switch over to Peak, and I think I'm gonna take a minute to grab something quick to eat. Maybe. Yeah. So YouTube friends, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.